Welcome to Barnstable Today. I'm Nick Cortez.
And I'm Kevin Friel. We'd like to remind you right at the top that the meetings we cover are available on demand at the town's website. You can log on at www.town.barnstable.ma.us.
With the weather getting warmer outside, the idea of spreading out a blanket at one of our town beaches and getting some sun seems more and more realistic every day. And at last night's Recreation Commission meeting, Assistant Recreation Director Patty Machado gave an update as to when we can expect the beaches to officially open for the season.
When do we anticipate beaches first being open up? Do we think that we have a good enough crew of lifeguards? We've had a little pay raise, not a large pay raise. Do we think we need to address that again going forward? Are we losing to other members are we losing to Dennis? Are we losing to Yarmouth for lifeguards?
We will be opening Memorial Day weekend. We open partial. We just open weekends from Memorial Day till June. It's June 9th, I think 26th, I think, off the top of my head. The week after school gets out, we will open. And with that, we will have a minimum crew coming in. We don't have full staff. A lot of people aren't swimming at that time, so it's not necessary to have all the stands covered. We will send people home when it's not nice out so we can save that revenue. Last year we had a really, really good summer, and as a result, we didn't send a lot of people home last year, and so we're starting out. We start out with last year's budget, so we didn't have a lot of extra, so I got to be careful with how things operate. We will be opening Colville's and Craigville when we open Memorial Day weekend. We will open for they have to have their sticker and they will pay, but we will not have lifeguards on during the week, just on the weekends. All the other beaches will not be opened.
Though the most popular spots will be fully staffed with lifeguards and gate attendants, Machado says that budgetary issues have again limited her ability to do the same at all town beaches.
You anticipate by July 1, though, being able to open up all the beaches in the town, all the lakes, all the...
No, we did not. As far as budgets, I'm not sure that has been passed yet. So even with that, I don't think we'll be fully staffed again this year. We will not be able to open... Lovell's Pond will not open. That will not open. Hamblin's Pond will have gate staff on, no lifeguards. Joshua's Pond is questionable whether or not we'll be able to open that. I'm not sure where financially we are with that. Hathaway's will have no lifeguards. There's one more. Hamblin's, Joshua's. No, and Hathaway's will have no lifeguards. They will have somebody there to open up the bathhouses and collect revenue or check for beach stickers.
Speaking of updates, Cape Cod Commission Executive Director Paul Niedzwiecki was before the Town Council last Thursday to talk about the Commission's focus for the coming year. Not surprisingly, that focus is on finding a county-wide solution to wastewater management.
At the Commission, we are putting together a regional wastewater management plan now, which is not a large plan that talks about a facility here and disposal there. It's a map, a Cape-wide map that shows things that should be considered, like density. The affordability of wastewater systems is almost entirely contingent on the length of pipe, or at least a good chunk of it is. So there'll be density maps out there, and some collection of principles that we think people should adhere to. Number one being, the system has to be affordable. If it's not affordable, it's really not going to be doable. In order to be affordable, we need to maximize our existing infrastructure. So in places that have centralized large pipe infrastructure, that's probably what we need to expand. In other places like Mashpee that have a variety of cluster systems, those are probably what we need to expand. So this will be a great discussion to have. We've got some consulting reports that are in there too that will give you a good idea as to what the variable costs are between large collection systems and small collection systems, so that we can avoid some of the pitfalls that some of the other communities have seen as they have been moving forward through the process. But wastewater is going to be prevalent, and we will come back with our regional wastewater management plan and make our resources available to you as you go through your planning efforts around how to deal with this important issue. It is the largest environmental issue we're going to face, and collectively, it is the largest capital project the Cape may ever pay for. So we have to be extraordinarily careful in how we plan and design this.
After Neswicki's initial remarks, the councilors had a chance to ask some follow-up questions. Here, Councilor Richard Barry asked about how the Cape Cod Commission can help towns secure water protection funds from the federal government.
We've got a bunch of different towns, Falmouth, Chatham, us here in Barnstable. We all seem to be individually attacking these things. And what I'm concerned about is basically what you just said, was that all these individual towns are going to overbuild. If we're looking to the feds, I mean, you are the regional agency.
Right.
What do we need to do? To go to the EPA and say, hey, you know, our water quality is down there. And not only our bays and estuaries, but our drinking water as well.
Right. If you look at other areas around the country, like Chesapeake Bay, for example, Chesapeake Bay is dead, and it's dead for a generation. And Maryland, in order to attract federal money, has had to institute a statewide flush tax. And so in order to get the federal participation, that's the level of local participation I think the feds tend to look for. The federal government hasn't been forthcoming with this. It wasn't 3 or 4 years ago. It's made some of the stimulus of money available for capital infrastructure improvements. Chatham's been very successful in chasing some of that down. But a coordinated program for capital wastewater construction, the federal government hasn't been in that game since 1980. And I don't see them getting back in with both feet anytime soon. So what we've tried to do is we've tried to go to the next level, which is the state. And Senator O'Leary 2 years ago was very successful in getting the state revolving loan fund retooled to provide 0% loans. And even at 0% instead of 2%, it would have saved a community like Chatham, you know, a substantial amount, between 50 and 100 million, depending on how you calculate it and what phase. Now, it does come with some requirements. Some of those requirements are you look at adopting flow-neutral regulations in your community. Because part of what we're dealing with is as the population has expanded, especially with 2-acre zoning, the further the distance between the homes that you have to hook up, the more expensive that collection system is going to be. So some towns like Brewster have gone to very aggressive land use planning now that would prevent the kind of sprawl that really is going to be costly to hook up with capital infrastructure. So those are the kind of flow-neutral ordinances you'd look for on the local level in order to qualify for the 0%. Other than that, almost every other Cape community should be able to qualify for that at significant savings, but not free money. Again, it's a loan.
Later, Councilor Greg Milne asked Niedzwiecki about what role the Commission would have in encouraging cooperation between towns in finding wastewater management solutions.
In what way can the Commission actually be take the lead role in literally creating some sort of intermunicipal agreements? And
it is a very difficult discussion to have. You know, the rest of the world looks at this peninsula as one place. When you get on the other side of the bridge, you find out it's at least 15 different places. And it is a very parochial place to do business. And so collaboration across town lines is not easy, especially when you're talking about shared infrastructure. So we need to continue to talk about that until we get over it. Now, as it relates to what the Commission can do, the Commission reviews every comprehensive wastewater management plan as a development of regional impact. One of the components that we look to are efforts at regionalization, at sharing resources, especially where you have existing resources in a proximate location to an existing need.
Let's take a look at this week's remaining meetings. Wednesday, April 7th at 7 o'clock, the Hyannis Main Street Waterfront Historic District Committee will meet in the Selectmen's Conference Room. On Thursday, April 8th at 9 o'clock in the morning, Site Plan Review meets in the Town Hall Hearing Room. At 7 o'clock, it's the State of the Town Address at Barnstable High School.
Well, that's all we have for now. For Kevin Friel, I'm Nick Cortese. We'll see you next time on Barnstable Today.